shindig started. Just going to pull the head and the jug and check the piston, and if everything's good, put it back together, send it. Nope, just kidding. Get to your timing marks. Go ahead and turn the engine over till everything lines up. There's that lined up. And now we take the exhaust loose. Get you out the way. Let's go ahead and take this bracket off, the temperature sensor, kind of chill and hang down there. Now that is the tensioner for the timing chain. So we'll go ahead and loosen it. Now we're going to take the cam gear loose. Let me hold the crank while I do this. Let's try this again with a little more torque. That works. Now we've got the 4 head nuts and the 2 right here on the side of the chain. So these are 8s, and the actual head nuts, and these are the ones from Grom fathers, should be 11s. 12s? 12s. Once those are loose, definitely keep track of where the washers are. There is one on the OG that is copper. The others are steel. So 3 and copper. Now those are off. Now we take these 2 long ones off. And then your cylinder head, which is about, you got to pull your spark plug wire. Actually, let's do that now. That's the spark plug. So let's take the wire off. And then here we have the factory O2 sensor. So let's get that one unplugged, and now we can pull the head and set it off to the side. And there's our piston and jug. So now we're at the last part before we can pull off the jug. There's this screw here that has a idler on the inside. Come on, come on. That's fine, stay in there. And we want this idler out, right there. That goes in between the chain. And now we can pull the jug off. Alright. So what we've learned is that the piston is burnt. And looks like lack of oil. So now the motor's going to come out. So essentially there's only 1, 2, 3 bolts holding the motor in. We'll probably unbolt the starter, let the starter hang, and then unhook all the wires. Got a couple vacuum lines loose, leave some of the wires dangling. But then these wires, this can stay there, but we'll go ahead and take the side panel off so we can. So we got a couple screws here, 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 and a couple on this side. This one right there, and the panel comes off. Screwdriver's probably a little overkill, but it was easy to get into the back side of that panel. Last one. Careful. Be careful because they're carbon fiber and all new panels. I really don't want to damage them. Alright, so we'll get these unplugged. And you. And you. Unplug. And you. And then just take the starter loose. So the 2 bolts for the starter. This one has a ground wire on it. So make sure when putting it back together, ground wire goes on. Now, correcting my own mistake, the starter actually has the gear on the inside of the motor, so it's got to come out with it. So the ground strap is off, now I'm taking the power wire. Alright, power wire is off. We will go ahead and pull the clutch cable. Just take this whole bracket right here. Well, that wasn't entirely too much work. So now everything's unhooked, so now we just need to pull the 3 bolts. We're ready to drop. You know, I'm looking over it. Let's go ahead and pull that chain off. You know, while the motor is off, this will be the perfect time to take the chain, put it in a Ziploc bag with the cleaner and degreaser, clean it, and then relube it. Just taking the master link off. Oh, you're snug up there, aren't you? There we go, getting a little rusty in there. While I'm here, I've got the chain. Let's hose it down with this chain cleaner degreaser. So she'll soak in there. And then we'll scrub it down later on. Alright, let's get some bolts. Let's see. Good. So it looks like the rear sets are in the way, because these are the Z and Z's. Whoops. Now I know. Now the other side, this side's fun because it also has the rear brake. Jesus. All to get to 1 bolt. It's almost like I'm pulling the motor out of this thing. How weird. Bolts out. Quite a bit of corrosion on there, so they'll have to be nice and clean when I put them back in. 1 left. It's a tiny little motor, honestly. How heavy can it be? There we go. There she is. Right. So when I grabbed the motor and brought it over here, I did not realize how unready my table was. So now she's off, ready to get pulled apart, scrubbed, reassembled. Well, looks funny without a motor in there.